is, and they had, over that 6-week period, they were great. Dawson Dahm, he's been pretty good too, and he's got Texas tough.
Well, Dawson Dahm nods his head on the horse that they won the Leduc Pro Rodeo on in 2024. This is a great ride for Dawson Dahm, a cowboy looking to cash in here in round number 4. He has yet to strike so far throughout this year's CFR.
That's right. He bucked off in the first round. He was 83 points in the second round, but that was only good for 11th spot, then 10th in round number 3. So we're going to see where we're going to put him. I think the judges kind of like this ride right here. I did too. Let's see where we're going to put Dawson Dahm. Yeah, I like that. 84 and a half. Nice.
Yeah, great. It was almost like he was asking the crowd to make some noise throughout that ride with his free hand. Great job by Dawson Dahm, and his best ride of the week so far.
I absolutely agree. Great job right there. Okay, Tyrell Roberts. He's got exciting bubbles. The Charlie Lake, British Columbia Cowboy, a Calgary Stampede bucker.
Yeah, Sawyer Eirikson had this horse in round number 1, and Tyrell's got to be happy with it. Exciting bubbles. The gelding that has been selected to the National Finals Rodeo on 2 previous occasions. This is a great draw in a sweet pen of buckers here, the matinee. That's the way to set yourself up for a super Saturday in the saddle bronc riding as Tyrell comes in here. So far, another one of our cowboys looking to strike in the saddle bronc riding competition. There's kind of been the guys at the top that are just riding so very well. So it's time for Tyrell to show off here in front of the great crowd inside Rogers Place, and he's doing that here today. This is a great trip and a great ride.
Well, Tyrell Roberts, as you pointed out, has been just outside the payoff monies. We pay 5 in each go-round, and he's been 6th once, he's been 7th once, but no money so far. Let's see if that can change right here as Tyrell Roberts getting it done on exciting bubbles.
Well, we always get excited here at the start of the saddle bronc riding go-arounds, and we talk about these great scores coming in, like Tyrell's score, 84 3/4, but we hope it holds up for the cowboy to get some money here at this year's CFR, but the bronc riding has just been so exceptionally tough.
Yeah, it really has. Sawyer Eirikson is back at the Canadian Finals Rodeo for a second time, and Sawyer Erikson's one of the guys that I really enjoy watching because I've watched his progress through the novice ranks, and of course he's a heck of a team roper for a while, and then he just really took to bronc riding. Took him a little while to get it figured out, but when he did, man, he's been very good. He's been picking up some money, and he likes some on equal money today.
Yeah, he has. And talking to Sawyer Eirikson last November at Canadian Western Agribition, the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals taking place in 4 go-arounds of competition there. Sawyer was just so committed to the gym and so committed to the mental portion of the saddle bronc riding. I think he wants to go from being a good saddle bronc rider amongst the best to being one of the greats in not only Canada but the entire world. So let's see what the Okotoks Alberta Cowboy can do here. Round number 4 matched up with a bucker in equal money from the Calgary Stampede.
Well, they bucked off his first 2 here at the Canadian Finals Rodeo, which was a little bit surprising right there as you see that horse kind of running along the gate right there. And we're going to see what they're going to do with Sawyer Eirikson right here in terms of that score. We got an 84.75 and Tyrell Roberts 84.5 for Dawson Dahm, and Sawyer Eirikson awaiting the decision of Wrangler Central as our officials make their assessment.
Quinten Taylor was 87 on that horse earlier on this summer in Kennewick, Washington at the last quarter of the season, but today Sawyer Eirikson in at 81 1/4 points.
Not sure if that's going to get to the pay window right there as we watch it, but he's kind of having a chat there with Perry Gursky, one of our officials. Logan Hay has been very, very good. He's has a 6th and a couple of 4s, so he's been at the pay window a couple of times. Could do it again here on the Outlaw Buckers outstanding OLS Tubbs Magic Carpet.
Yeah, and they've already got to go around in the bareback riding on an Outlaw Buckers horse in turn back time. So let's see if Jonathan Kamita and crew can cash in twice here in round number 4, double down in the saddle bronc riding with their matchup of Logan Hay. And they've got the Outlaw Buckers patch on this cowboy. They support the Wildwood Alberta man who's matched up with their bucking horse in OLS Tubbs Magic Carpet. And this is a horse, he takes cowboys to the pay window every time you make the whistle. This is great. One of the matchups that I want to talk about was Zeke Thurston having him at his own bronc riding in Stettler and getting back to the championship round. And this is a great draw. Magic Carpet looking to take Logan Hay for a ride at CFR 51.
Well, and Logan Hay has made some amazing rides in his career, and he'd love to make another one right here. Magic Carpet totally not cooperating.
There you go.
Now she kind of stands up and says, okay, I will do this. The man was 95.5 points. Not bad.
No, not too shabby at all. One of the most charismatic cowboys in all of rodeo. Logan Hay and his traveling partner Ben Anderson. They've been featured in a few social media posts over the regular season, cheering on their fellow cowboys. And Logan Hay, he's going to work today on Magic Carpet. Great ride as they finish it up down at the far end of the arena.
I really like that ride. That is just picture perfect. You look at it right here. Every spur lick, every jump. Logan Hay in perfect timing with that horse right there. That was nice.
Yeah, you could use that one at a saddle bronc riding clinic right there to show the kids exactly how it's done, lifting on that rein, beating the horse to the ground, every single jump, and the markings come in, going to be 83.25 points.
Which will put him in third place behind Roberts and Dahm. Logan Hay in third spot right now, dropping Sawyer Eirikson to fourth place overall. Lucas Macza, High River Cowboy, and one that we've talked about and that we so much admire, and he's got Bull's Renegade today.
Yeah, and you look back to a year ago when Lucas Macza entered the Canadian Finals, number 2, right behind Zeke Thurston. He was contending for a Canadian championship, and over the course of the year, Lucas hasn't maybe drawn as deep as some of the Cowboys, and he was 87 in round number 2, and that was just out of the money and on a big-time ride today, matched up with a bold Rodeo Bucker and Renegade, and the gray horse and Lucas. Let's hope that they can get to the pay window.
Well, Lucas, as he said, he picked up a 5th place check in round number 1. Then an 87 doesn't get you anything, and an 84.25. So he's been solidly in the 80s and even mid-80s for most of his Canadian Finals Rodeo 51. But let's see where we're going to put him today. Looks like the judges like this one as well as we did. And, in fact, he goes to the lead with an 85.75. Nice job, Lucas Macza.
Yeah, right to the top of the class as Lucas just quietly makes his way back to the bucket chute. Sometimes that's what I criticize him on, is he needs to sell his rides a little better and get a little more excited. I like to have a little fun with Lucas every once in a while.
Well, Layton Green, so far he has not hit the pay window. He's been 8th, 7th, and 11th, but that could change here courtesy of Mox's Mary Jane, a horse they love to draw.
Yeah, they do love to draw this horse in Lacey May. She's been featured at all of the big rodeos as well as the finals across Canada. They were 87 points earlier on this season in Montana, so let's see what we can get done here. Layton Green matched up with Mary Jane, the NFR and Canadian Finals Rodeo selected bucking horse.
All right, well, Layton Green, as you can see, kind of just measuring that bronc rein, making sure he's got it just right. You take too short a rein, get pulled down over the head of that horse. Too long a rein, it's out the backside.
And that's a good point, Dave. And in saying that this is a great draw for Layton Green, this is a horse that in this pen of buckers that you don't want to step your toe on. That she has bucked numerous Cowboys off throughout the regular season as well.
Yes, she has. Yeah, but you know one thing about Layton Green, he doesn't get bucked off a whole lot. 2017 Canadian champion, still riding just as well as I think he did back in 2017, when for a long time he held the single season earnings record until Zeke Thurston broke that record in 2019, and Zeke's taking a run at maybe breaking that record one more time here in 2025.
Yes, he is. As Layton's talking it over with the judges inside that bucket chute, boy, that horse playing some tricks on him, but gets her standing up, and here we go. Macza Pro Rodeo bucking horse, Layton Green, world-class cowboy, and as you said, Dave, he's as good as he ever was.
Well, you know, as you watch this horse circle around and watch Layton's feet about 6 seconds as they kind of come back a little bit as he's had to struggle to get by a tough, and as you pointed out, Robert, a tough horse right there. You see he kind of missed the lick right there because that horse was really putting the juice to him at that point in time.
Yeah, he was, and that's that move that we were talking about that brings a lot of Cowboys down in a sweet pen of bucking horses. This is going to be a marking, and the judges, they knocked him a couple for that as well, 77.5 points.
Yeah, so he's in 6th place overall. Well, let's talk about the guy that we've talked about a lot, and I love the matchup. Q Taylor, Nanton, Alberta, trump card from the C5 firm, and Q has really made a statement. I don't know if he's going to win a Canadian title in 2025, but my prediction is he is going to win a Canadian title before very long, and this is a great matchup. I saw this horse up there in Cold Lake at the Extreme Bronx there, 89 points. This could be a super matchup.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable that Q Taylor is an eventual Canadian champion. At 23 years of age, this kid is just an absolute superstar. You know, I was talking to the judges in the later half of the season. They said right now there's not very many cowboys spurring horses as well as Q Taylor. He's just riding so well, and he's matched up with trump card today of C5. This is another great ride for Q.
Well, you see those toes turned out, and it's not just an aggressive spurring style, it's a stylish spurring style that I think the judges really like, and they like this one to the tune of 85 points to put him in second place on the round.
Well, Q is just riding with so much confidence. There's the marking, 85 points.
Well, so far he's been very, very solid, as has Kole Ashbacker, who is getting ready right now, the Arrowwood Cowboy. He's got Cole's mistress. Now, here's a cowboy who was ninth, and then tied for second last night, had his biggest moment, did Kole Ashbacker.
Yeah, and this is the first time that we've seen mistress at this year's CFR as well, so this could be interesting right now in a go-around where we don't have those 89s and the 88s on top of the leaderboard. Lucas Macza in the number one spot so far with 85 3/4 points. This is an opportunity for Ashbacker, as he is just so perfect when he rides. Look at him in total control from start to finish. This is a great ride for Ashbacker and his draw, the Vold Rodeo Company mistress.
Yeah, and you saw that circle around to the right, but it was different than when Layton Green had his horse. That horse was a little ranker. This was a nice horse to ride, and Kole Ashbacker made absolutely no mistakes. Good job by the cowboy from Arrowwood. Then to the National Finals Rodeo. Look at that spur lick right there. That's Kole Ashbacker at his very best. You see where we're going to put him, 83.25. He's in a share of fifth spot overall with Logan Hay right now.
Yeah, we just keep stacking them up. There's kind of a log jam of cowboys from 83 1/4 all the way up to 84 3/4, and then Lucas Macza still in the lead with 85 3/4.
Well, Ben Anderson getting ready right now. He's got Lacey May. You started to talk about this horse earlier. This is a cool bucker.
I did start to talk about this horse, and this is the horse that I was thinking that I'd marry Jade and Lacey May side by side in my draw and on my notes on my paper right here. And this horse is the one that's been featured in all these big rodeos, and the horse that they were 87 earlier on in Montana this season. Ben Anderson, this is a great draw, and just like Logan Hay, Ben Anderson loves to have a lot of fun, and we talk about the fun that he had in round number 3, 88 points, the go-around win, and he was swinging his hat as he made his victory lap around the arena.
Well, there's nothing more fun than an $11,400 check, and that's what he did last night. Prior to that, though, he placed in both of the rounds with a third and a fifth, so he has been very, very solid, has Ben Anderson throughout.
It's such a tight race in the bronc riding amongst the rest of the field, with Zeke Thurston so far ahead of everybody else. Everybody is battling it out. He's currently 8th in the aggregate before this ride here today. Let's see where we put him in our live results as he's nodding for that gate, and it looks like that buck chute is just sticking right now. And
yeah, he nodded once and they couldn't get that
Ben
gate
Anderson
open, so
has nerves of steel.
He does. He's just going to regroup. He'll be fine.
He says, okay, I'm ready. Let me have him. Whenever you guys are ready, just swing the gate open. Ben Anderson, Lacey May.
Well, the second-generation cowboy. His dad was a bronc rider, and he's following in the footsteps, and maybe making some footsteps of his own is Ben Anderson and Lacey May. Let's see where we're going to put him. 85 3/4, still leading the way. Lucas Macza been clinging to that lead, but that was a solid performance by Ben Anderson, as we've come to expect.
Yeah, it was a great ride, but that horse maybe traveled a little bit too much ground across the arena, and the judges are going to have him in at 80 1/4 points for 8th place here in round number 4.
Well, we've talked about Zeke Thurston, the fact that he'd have to stub his toe to let anybody get back into this thing, and he's not likely to do that, and this is just a nice draw, weekend departure from the Stampede.
You know, he holds the record for most money earned over the course of a regular season and the CFR. I think it's about $112,000 or so. You talked about it a couple of days ago at the Hotel Dave, And he's going to be right up there again. $82,000 coming into round number 4. And Zeke Thurston, the Big Valley, Alberta Cowboy, matched up with the Calgary Stampede bucking horse. And look at Zeke going to work, beating him to the front end, and just so aggressive with his spurring style today. That's a great ride for Zeke.
That is a great ride. That might have put another nail in the coffin as far as the other guys. Look at the spur out with that horse rearing out of there. Zeke Thurston just absolutely makes no mistakes, and then he really got it on with this horse. That was pretty darn good. Zeke Thurston, yeah. How good? How about 88 points good to go to the number 1 spot?
Class is in session. Bronc Riders, you're going to want to pick up that master class from Zeke Thurston because he is one of the greatest in the entire world and in history.
Well, and of course, he's got 5 titles in a row. That's another record, and it could be 6 by the time we get things done tonight. As we get ready for Kolby Wanchuk, Stetler, Alberta, borderline untimely from the Calgary Stampede.
Well, this should be fun to watch as well. They were 88.5 points at the Calgary Stampede this summer aboard this horse, and matched up with Dawson Dahm in round number 1. Dawson had a little bit of trouble with borderline untimely, but Kolby Wanchuk, amongst the top 15 cowboys in the world, he is just so good every time he nods his head. And on his dad's retirement year from the arena as a rodeo clown, Kolby Wanchuk, he gets it done in round number 4.
Well, he does. You saw this horse kind of fade across the arena right there to the right. And but Kolby Wanchuk equal to the test every jump of the way. Again, the judges looks like they kind of approve of what Kolby was doing out there as the scores are starting to come in for Kolby. It's going to be 86 points to go to second place over